Your media, where you are.
They say that if your friends spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, would you still be friends? That's what we're diving into today, tapping into our inner queen, our inner goddess, our self esteem and confidence. Shalom, my beautiful fam. What's up? Welcome back to another beautiful and regal episode of The Spiritual Bar. My name is Phumudzo Phumpie Munonde Gonzakuna Vasikana Mudzungwano Vasena. And the spiritual bar is a safe space for us to cultivate and find our healing, spiritual awakening, all through holistic wellness, self-development, and everything that leads us closer to God. The intention is ascension, vibrate higher through shalom. And this is all, of course, exclusively on www.sheet24.co.za and at your media. If you're feeling that energy, it's because we have royalty in the house today. We have an actual queen, Mrs. Universe Africa Fikile. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having
Welcome
me,
to the
Pumo.
Spiritual
Thank
Bar.
You. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I'm going to let you please kindly introduce yourself to everybody out there.
Thank you so much for having me, Pumo. I'm Fikile Mdiniso. 31 years old, divorced mom of two. I call them my two heartbeats. And professionally, I'm a data engineer and I graduated with a bachelor's in IT. Currently furthering my studies with Hanley Business School in pursuit of an MBA. So I think my first passion, my first love is academia and empowering women through academia and, unlocking their fullest potential. I feel like education is the key. I still believe that. And our former president, or our late president rather, Nelson Mandela, he valued education. He felt that it is a very solid foundation for the future of our country, for the future of the world. And I feel that's where it stems from for me.
Beauty and brains. I love it. I can just feel you have so many gems that we're all going to be scrambling to pick up already. But before we get into the gems of things, I want to track back to the 24th of September, 2021. After you were crowned Mrs. Universe Africa, you get home, you're about to get into bed, you've removed your makeup and everything. What is the last thing on your mind before you close your eyes on that night?
To be honest, that night I cried on stage. I held back my tears. When they called my name, actually, I had that moment of, I had an ear block at some point.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't fall off stage. I just said a short prayer and I was like, Lord, carry me through this moment. I started shaking. And as I was going to Bokang and she handed over, our director, she handed over the crown. For me, I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I don't know why you have given me this, but there is a purpose, and I will make sure I find it and use it to my fullest, to be a gift to others.
That's beautiful. I guess it's those moments that we see sometimes on TV when they're like, they called your name and the queen is like, I can't believe this.
So when they were calling, we were in the top 5 already. Like we were 5 ladies on the stage. They called my second runner-up, my first runner-up. And it was 3 ladies remaining. And we just held hands. And in that moment, I started praying. So when they called my name, I was still praying.
That's powerful.
And I remember because I had if you can see the pictures as well now, I look at that picture and I was like, oh my gosh, I was really praying. I was shaking. And as they called my name, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is God.
Well, you best believe it and you're living within it. What does this title mean for you and to you?
You know, for me, this title, I still get asked a lot, like you're so low-key about your title. Why? Like, we expected that, you know what, you were just going to come out and just paint the town red. And I told them, I was like, for me, being humble about this title, actually, it's a covenant between me and God. Because He's the one that gave it to me. And He's the one that's going to guide me through it. So for me, as much as the fame came, the social empowerment came with it, of which I appreciate greatly. It's opened a lot of doors for me. But I shouldn't forget the task at hand. Right now, God has given me a responsibility, and I have to carry this in my shoulders and actually be an extension of God's hands to others.
I love that. That's so beautiful, because a lot of people think when you are a Mrs. or a Miss anything, it's just about, look at me, hi, I'm pretty, this is all. And that is definitely not the truth.
It's
when it
way
comes
more.
to you. You are so much deeper than that. I feel it ever since meeting you. And she's so humble. 100% so humble.
Thank
But
you so much.
I know that Mrs. Universe Africa is not the only thing that you're doing at the moment. You wear quite a few hats. I want you to please tell us about the other hats that you wear and the misconception around balance, especially when it comes to women. They think we can't balance a lot of things. So you are juggling Mrs. Universe Africa. How do you balance yourself and all these hats that you wear and break through these misconceptions?
I think in this moment, or where I am in my life now,
Yes.
last year I took on a lot. I did. And I think this was a living proof of a woman's strength that is being taken lightly, a woman's strength. And it can only be through God. And I still say that if it wasn't for my family and my support structure, to be honest, there were times I felt like I'm going to break. But through prayer and through the support of my loved ones, I'm still here today. As I say, I've taken up so much in 1 year. Last year, I went through my divorce, very emotional. And at that moment, I was in a dark space. And for me, I think what kept me going is, what is my future after what I've known for such a long time, being in a marriage? It's what I've lived for. It's what I've known. So now, who is Fikile? I had to grab on in that darkest moment. I had to run and grab on to Fikile, finding Fikile. I think for me, the switch became about finding Fikile. And I remember going to a workshop for modeling, because it's been my passion from a young age. But obviously, coming from an African family, I think anybody can attest that when you come up with the concept of the arts, pursuing the arts for a living, majority of us would say, my mom or dad said, you are not doing that. You need to go to university, study something that is going to guarantee you employment. A job. Yes. You need a proper job. That is talent. That is a hobby, So I think even singing, because I was quite a songstress in my high school years.
Yeah.
Joined a choir. I had a musical group at some point called Harmony. And we sang gospel, actually. So I feel that now my spiritual backgrounds came back strongly in my adulthood. But I was a very spiritual child growing up without even paying attention to it. So we sang gospel. And we were obviously trying to break into the market, meeting with producers to actually do a demo. And then my dad came in and like, no. My daughter, not in this house. You're not going to be a singer. You're not going to be doing modeling. You can do that in your spare time. Education is the foundation in this house. Hectic. So when you do that, it's going to be over and above your outside time or your free time. So it was considered that. And I'm so glad that for the moment I walked into the Model Academy where I did my modeling workshops, I was actually scouted there as a model.
Nice.
So I remember the director of the modeling school saying, I can't believe you've never modeled before. Never, ever. Like, you've never been signed, like in your youth years, before the kids, nothing before the marriage. I was like, no, I haven't been signed before. And this is my first attempt to actually do professional modeling. And, when they say people see you, but you don't see yourself. I've battled so much growing up with insecurities, with imposter syndrome. I didn't see me. But the painful part is my close friends and family. They were telling me this. They're like, you're natural. You're a natural model. Why aren't you pursuing modeling? You could actually kill it. And I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. So I think what I'm trying to paint here is, if you don't see yourself, no one else will. Because anyone can come and say, but you can kill this thing.
Yes.
You will never listen. That will never actually get through to you.
Yes.
So you need to see yourself.
That's
so
true.
Where it starts.
I love that. That's a powerful statement. You have to be able to see yourself, and nobody else can be the eyes for you. Yes. Where does Fikile go to refill her cup whenever you're feeling low in those moments where you have a little bit of doubt, you're not really seeing yourself the way you know you should, the way you know you are, who God says you are? What does Fikile do to refill her cup?
I reference the Book of Life. And in my bedroom, I have a prayer corner. It has a candle stand, and that is my sanctuary. So that's where I meditate. That's where I cry. That's where I actually get or refuel from the source. And obviously calling my mom.
Yes.
And venting. It's going to start there.
I can relate.
It's going to start there. I'm going to call mom. I'm going to cry. I'm going to vent. And then my mom is going to be like, okay, it happened. What are you going to do about it? Just pray and meditate on it. And then we'll have this discussion again. And you'll tell me what you want to do. She's that type of a mom.
Yeah. Moms are the best. Yeah. Moms are the ultimate queens.
Definitely.
I don't know where we would be without moms.
The queens.
Right, they are the queens behind the queens. They like to say behind every successful man is an amazing woman. And behind every amazing woman is an even more phenomenal. So I'm so proud that you continue to take on your passions from a very young age. You're still doing them now. You're in pageantry as well. I mean, you're Mrs. Universe Africa. What about the singing? Can we expect anything in the future? You're diving more into that realm?
You know, funny enough, I thought about this. I thought about that the other time. Actually, my mom probed the question. She's like, so now that you've obviously created a name for yourself through the pageant, obviously you're going to be meeting all the socialites, and don't you consider venturing into music after all of that? Like, Mom, let's wait. I was nervous because it's been a while since I've tapped into the singing arena, but the voice obviously is still there. It's not just going to disappear. It's a one gift, but
I'm going to keep looking out for that.
Funny enough, my talent for South Korea is singing. So I'm going to be singing my African Dream.
Lovely.
By Vicky. And I've obviously been practicing, and whenever I'm practicing, I'm with my mom and my sister. So I'll just have pretend I have a mic, or just take something and just pretend it's a mic, and then I'll sing and perform for them, and they'll be taking videos. And
those are the best concerts.
Yes, and there was a time I had to send the pageant team my voice note, just so that they can say, okay, you can do this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think as the journey unfolds, we'll see.
Everything is unraveling as it is. Yeah, I'm excited. You mentioned Korea. That's going to be one of your talents in the pageant for the Mrs. Universe.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I bet you're super excited for that.
I am super excited.
Right?
I am super excited.
So let's dive into the pageantry world. A lot of people think it's just glitz, glam, look at me. Give us a little bit of a behind the scenes view on what being a contestant in a pageant, let alone winning, is like for you.
I will start from when the pageant started.
Okay.
You meet very amazing, beautiful women, but you don't know who they are. You don't know where they come from. So there's so much anxiety that comes with that. Obviously, the first engagements, you'd source each other out. And now you're going through your journeys. And that's where you actually have to tap into your core. It's so important because competition was tough. From the semi-finalists, there were 70 of us. And very deserving women, very smart women, powerhouses by their own rights.
Yeah.
And now I had to find myself to disconnect from looking at the sides and thinking, oh my gosh, definitely this one is going to ace it, you know. You need to make sure that you need to constantly pace yourself, self-regulate, reflect, and come back to your core. It is a competition, yes. We are competing for the crown, yes. But I remember a very powerful statement our director said. She said, every crown has a name written on it. This was in our semi-finalist workshop when we met for the first time. And she said, starting this journey, you must look at yourself as a winner already, with or without the crown, because what you're going to learn, what you're going to absorb from the journey, it's up to you. You can either take it or leave it. Or you can actually take it and run with it. And I've got so many sisters, I call them my sisters now. I've got so many of my sisters that I went through this journey with. And I got the crown, but they are doing amazing work. So it shows that they were not in the wrong place. It shows that they were queens by their own right. And they are doing amazing things. They're powerful women. And to this day, I'm proud of each and every one of them. So for me, entering, yes, it was a competition. And obviously, when, yes, I'm going to speak in isiZulu, like,
feel free.
As abafazi sometimes, there's this thing, agna peace, there's no peace. Because you find that there's gossip, there's just jealousy, there's just judging. There's a lot of negative emotion that surrounds women being united, but the narrative needs to change. I feel that during the pageant, I saw a lot of that changing. Pageantry does actually mold queens. If you entered the pageant with maybe certain negative traits, it's definitely going to have an impact on you, on how you venture into your next level and how you engage with women after that journey. You'll never be the same woman.
It makes sense, because as much as beauty is an external thing, when you're part of a pageant, it's beyond that, as you've just explained, and it's about what's within coming out. That's the beauty that we ultimately see. That's the beauty that will ultimately get you that win.
Definitely.
So it's all from the inside. What is within you. And what helps you build your confidence? What would you say are some of the things that help you to stay on your, you know what, I got this?
I've got this. Well, I mentioned the Book of Life. There's other books, obviously, that I read from the most inspirational women around the world, even men. You know, people that have actually broken boundaries and made amazing things in the world. And biographies. I love reading biographies, like in my downtime. And I've read a lot of work by Robin Sherman.
Yes.
And during that time, I think absorbing what the next person did to actually get to their best. You take a lot from that, and also affirming yourself. You know, you cannot, they say you must be prepared for your blessings and your gifts. So you cannot tap into that world or the universe bring you that gift if you're not ready for it. You can only tap into what you're ready for. And it's so important to affirm yourself. Start believing that you are that person. You've got that gift. You've got those talents. You are that person. Let's say, for example, you want to be the first female president one day. Or you want to be a queen like this one day. You need to start, everything about you, the poise, the traits, they need to mimic what you want to become.
Faith talk.
Yes.
Walk
Positive
like
talk.
It.
Affirmation is very powerful. Manifestation is very powerful. Meditation and prayer. It's very powerful tools that I use to actually keep to my core. That's hence I'm saying I'm always going back to my core, because I've been in that dark place where imposter syndrome kicks in. I still have those days where I feel like, okay, I'm not feeling myself today. But doing all of those things, that having an action plan. For recovery is very important. And especially now that I'm in the public eye. Everybody's looking. I don't even know who's looking, but I know I am aware that there's people who are looking that I haven't even met yet. So it is so important for me to actually always find my core and find my source where I actually bounce back from. It's very important.
I love
it's very
that.
Important.
And I love that you mentioned affirmations as well. A lot of us sometimes think that affirmations must be something that's already true about you. And it's quite the opposite. It's something you want to bring into life.
You create a picture.
And live in it and walk in it and become it until you're actually it. You encompass it and you are completely immersed in it.
Exactly.
I love that.
And dream boards.
You
know, dream boards, they sound crazy to someone who doesn't understand them. But having your dream board in a mirror, or like a space that you wake up and see for the first time every morning, it's very important.
That's crazy that you say that, because this year was one of my first years actually that I took it seriously, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try out this dream vision board thing. So far, let me tell you, God has been showing up. God has been showing up
because he has seen, you have put, so that means whatever was in your heart, whatever was between you and God already knows our desires. He already knows what we want before we even ask, before you even know what you want. He already knows it. You know, he knows your path. But now, when you put it on picture and on paper, you're actually cementing it into the universe.
Yes.
Now the universe is working with God to bring you this gift.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
And I know that you are somebody that's passionate and preaches about women empowerment, and you mentioned sisterhood and how the importance of that and being around women and the energy that we share towards each other, the energy that we have right now. You know, what do you think needs to happen for women to just love each other a little bit more? Because you're so right, you know, there's a lot of animosity that just continues to linger on. What do you think? Is it a me thing? Is it a
You know what? It starts with yourself.
Yeah.
I think for me, for my personal experience, I would say that if you don't love yourself, if you do not practice or equip yourself to love yourself enough, like you need to find the things that actually mean self-love to you, that will make you fall in love with yourself before you can actually love the next person.
Right.
So self-love, it stems from self-love. And I've engaged with a lot of women and I've picked this up that, you know what, self-love is so important because that's when you're actually saying, okay, Fikile is enough. You walk into a space. My Facebook, and not my Facebook rather, my Instagram, and both Facebook actually.
Yeah.
Whenever I share quotes,
Yes.
I actually think a lot about my quotes. Like I don't just post a picture. I post something that's going to plant something in someone. And I remember in one of my quotes, I was talking about self-confidence. And in that quote, I was specifically actually sharing that self-confidence is walking into a room full of amazing people, beautiful women rather, and not having to compete at all. So if you actually can do that, it's not being arrogant. Obviously, people that have their own struggles would see it as you being arrogant, you thinking you're better than anybody else. But no, you're self-aware and you're assured. And no one can assure you.
Right.
I promise you. No one can assure you. You need to assure yourself before you walk into that room so that you can actually share that energy and share your gifts with other women without feeling that you're competing.
Yeah.
Or you need to compete.
What works for me is a quote by Maya Angelou, and she likes to say that I come as one, but I stand as many. Yeah. So I think of all the sisters, the mothers, everybody that came before me, and I walk into the room like that.
You are every woman. I think, to put it short, you are every woman. So why would you want to compete? Why would you feel that dimming another woman's light
will make yours shine brighter?
We will make yours shine brighter. If you think of yourself that you are every woman, then you've nailed it.
Does Mrs. Universe Africa have any insecurities?
You know that question. Yeah. Funny enough, when I walk in or being where I am now, you would be expected to have none, but to be honest, I do have those days. I do have the demons trying to take over once in a while, knocking on my door, and you know, I make sure that my prayer corner is always ready. Yeah, and I'm constantly in a place where I have to do some shadow work. Obviously, there's things that are gonna come by to just disturb your peace. I mean, there's challenges every day. Every day you wake up. That's why I feel before walking out of the door, I believe that I need to actually start with a prayer and say, God, let's take this on.
I've never met a queen like you. Even speaking about shadow work, you go within. You are working. I love that.
I'm so glad I actually got introduced to shadow work and reflecting, and obviously that came with my studies. I remember when I started with Henley. One of my assignments, I started in a month, and they're expecting me to write this reflective paper. Yeah. Can you believe how hard it was to actually confront those demons and to actually put on paper why I think I'm the person that I am today? Dig deep and write a report about it and submit it for marking.
To somebody else.
Yeah. I remember I wrote the first paper and my facilitator came back to me. She's like, you're holding back. I'm not going to mark it.
Hectic.
I remember when I was typing that assignment, that was my first experience actually of
Yeah.
reflecting. I wasn't, actually ever since that time, I have a journal and I make sure that I reflect to a point where I cry sometimes. I remember, I think that when that paper ended, because I was doing like, my facilitator said, you need to open up. I'm not gonna, or else I'm not marking it, because you're just going to get a 50 or 50 something. And
Wow.
I'm not giving you a 50 for this paper.
Yeah.
And I was like, whew, okay. I went back to it and I opened up. It ended with tears, but it was a well-deserved distinction on that paper.
And that's where the core essence of us as spiritual beings in this human experience lies, in that place that we don't want to go into. And that's where the healing is. And that's where the growth is.
Yes.
But you gotta be brave enough to go in there.
I went from my childhood. I went into the ugly, and surprisingly enough, I also had a list of people that I had to forgive from a young age to actually heal. To actually be the person, to actually show up for myself, to actually unleash the power that I have in me. It started, my shadows started from a young age. So,
speaking on reflecting and doing the shadow work, take us a little bit into your spiritual journey, if you don't mind. Where is that at the moment?
I think I'm still in my process of discovering myself, most importantly, and finding out who am I, Fikile, and who am I to God, and what does God want to do with Fikile's life. I think I've struggled a lot with surrendering, allowing God to move in my life. I've struggled a lot because I'm one person that just wants to be in control all the time, and I've actually learned to realize that that's where my anxiety came from. I grew up a very anxious child because I was so in the idea that it needs to go this way. It needs to go this way, or it's not going well. But as soon as I realized that I'm here for a purpose and I'm not my creator, I have a creator, and he's the one that has a map for my life, and he's the one that's going to move. Even though sometimes I feel like, but I deserve to do 1, 2, 3. I deserve that direction. And he held me from it. I would cry and throw my toys, but remember that it is his map for my life. So I've battled with surrendering, but I'm glad now that I'm learning to let go, and I'm learning to find this Fikile in God's hands. Who is she in God's hands, and where is her path rather going?
I love that. See, I want to keep you on the show. You must just stay here. Just be a permanent resident. Because you're saying exactly what I always preach is, before we came here, we have a mandate that we signed with our creator. Your mandate is your purpose. Your mandate is what you need to constantly go back to be like, Lord, what am I supposed to be doing here? Where am I supposed to be impacting? Use me for your good. So I love that. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Think spiritual growth. Spiritual growth. I'm in the process.
So would you say you're living within the fullness of your purpose at the moment in this season of your life?
I feel that I am, and we tapped into women empowerment being my passion, and we are in a society where women, unfortunately, are still boxed. We have women breaking barriers every day, like actually paving a way for us. But to be honest, it doesn't come without tears and sweat. And I think being in this platform, or being in this space, the Mrs. Universe Africa platform has allowed me to actually give hope to a woman out there, to give hope to a young girl, to give hope. A young girl that is dreaming that, okay, I'm not in a space where my dreams can come true. I had this dream ever since I was a baby girl. I'd actually wear my mom's high heels, ask her to put makeup on me, she'd buy me a tiara, and I was a beauty queen, even at that age of 5. But with life and certain obstacles, I couldn't pursue that childhood dream. But today it happened. So I think this should serve as a frame of reference or an affirmation to someone sitting out there that it is never too late. I like saying, if you're still alive, your dreams are still valid. Until that last day, then your dreams are still valid. There's nothing stopping you from chasing your dreams, fetching your life and fetching your dream.
Yeah.
And that's the slogan of Mrs. Universe Africa.
Love that. Fetching your life, fetching your
Yes.
dreams. That's a powerful slogan.
Exactly.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And you're also doing the same work within the community, within various people's lives.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about your humanitarian work that you're involved in.
I'm one of the directors with a couple of my friends. We direct an NGO called Open Eyes Impact.
Yeah.
Initially, it was Open Eyed Girls, but
Okay.
we felt that we do preach women empowerment, empowering the young girl for the future to cement themselves and do amazing things in the world. But with that women empowerment, as much as we preach women empowerment, what is being done on the sidelines or in the background to empower the boy? Because I can't speak to the men, because obviously society has shaped who they are today, and it might be a bit harder to shift mindsets at that level. IsiZulu sithi igotshwa isemanzi. So now we've actually incorporated young boys, because we want to mold them to be ready to receive this empowered woman.
So Fikile, let's play a quick game now before you go. I'm just going to say a word and you just tell me what comes to your mind.
Okay.
Pressure.
Resilience.
Sisterhood.
Love.
Beauty.
Power.
Love that. Submission.
Humility.
That's an interesting way to look at submission. I love that. I love it. Okay, so you're going to Korea to compete in the Mrs. Universe, the international pageant competition, right? What else is ahead for Fikile? What's coming in store for the rest of the year? What can we look out for?
For the rest of the year, I think now the focus is actually South Korea preps, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm doing some amazing work with my sister, my queen sisters. So one of them actually is working with a new clothing line that I just became a face of.
Nice.
So I'll be working with them throughout my journey, and obviously after, that's a very fruitful relationship that I've established. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working with the organization as an alumni with the new queens that have come in for Mrs. Universe Africa 2022.
Yes.
They're very amazing ladies. I can't wait
Yeah.
to crown our next queen. So yeah, I think what you can look out for is some more work with the Mrs. Universe organization, because I think that's my home. That has become home for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, seeing the work that we can unwrap with my queen sisters that I've actually gained throughout the journey.
See, that's the thing. From the first day I met you, and all the sisters that you surround yourself with, it is just a magnitude of love,
souls.
power, beauty.
Yes.
All of it combined.
And you know what I love about them? We have fun together, we cry together, and when tough love is needed, we have those moments where we give each other tough love. We have those moments where we just at each other's throats and we tell each other the truth, but it comes from love.
It
comes from wanting to see each other grow. So yeah, I think that's the amazing gift of being a part of the sisterhood. So you don't have sisters that are gonna wait for you to leave to start discussing you. You have sisters that are gonna sit with you down and be like, sis, here you're budging. You're dropping the ball here. Basically you're losing it here.
I love that. Let's learn to be more like that, queens and kings. Well, I'm so rooting for you, and I'm super
Thank you so
excited.
much.
Where can people find you and follow you and support you?
So my Instagram handle, which is what the most active right now, at Fikile Lifestyle. So Fikile Mdiniso, and Facebook as well. I'm Fikile Mdiniso. That's where they can find me. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Fikile Mdiniso, and Twitter. I'm not too active on Twitter.
Okay.
Just go there for my news. But So I've got Twitter. It's Fikile Mdiniso across.
Well, there you have it. Please do follow her and support her. Me, I can't wait to see the singing, the talent that she's going to perform, and the representation she's going to give Africa at the world stage in Korea. I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Fikile, for joining us. You're an absolute gem. You're an absolute queen. And before you leave Soul Family, I always got you with a consider this moment. Today, it's actually a lyric from a Beyonce song. It says, "Perfection is the disease of the nation. It's the soul that needs a surgery." So think about that. I love you so much, Soul Family. Thank you for spending your time, energy, and presence with me. As always, may your cup continue to overflow. And don't forget to stay tuned to all our social media handles at Your Media and at Phumpie for more everyday interaction. And stay tuned to www.she24.co.za. As usual, the intention is ascension. Vibrate higher through Shalom.